on eating and its benefits. Friends, why this book? In fact, we are at a time when, frankly speaking, I have a sense that we feel like we are a lost people. We do not know who we are. And as a result, this vacuum, this drift is being filled by tastes and practices from external sources. Today, for example, you have McDonald's culture, you have KFC culture, you have Maggie culture and all those things. There's fast food coming up and all. You see a general drift. And it's not from today. Even at my childhood, not in my childhood, I must say that those days things were different a little, but much later. Not much later. When market started invading with the products and coming with researches and so-called researches that mother milk is not good, give Ferex. So you find young, newly educated, learned, believing too much in modern research. Mothers have started moving away from mother milk to Ferex and some things like. There are places where it started, no, it is more nutritious than even the cow milk. All kinds of things have started. So we got confused. Friends, this country, we must know that our country, Bharat, we know it is a civilizational country. We all talk about it, but do we really appreciate what it means? Because in about 200, 250 years, so much damage has happened, which has brought us to a stage where we are now finding it difficult to answer the question who we are. Until 200, 250 years ago, our country was so food sufficient. We didn't know what is famine. Plenty of food. If you look at the British record here of early 19th century, this place, our rice production used to be 6 metric ton per hectare. Now 6 metric ton per hectare, even Japan, for them it is an ideal, which is supposed to be the most advanced rice producing country. Today, in our delta region, average production is about nearly 3.5 to 4 metric ton per hectare. We do that. But the fact is, we used to produce. And we used to produce variety of foods. Every region. We never looked at when we say ours is a civilizational country, we never looked at food merely as an object or a material to quench the hunger. No, it is much more than that. Because our view has been a holistic view of life. We never looked at things in isolation. Even when we looked at anything in isolation, not completely we put a blinker that we don't see the whole. Every time we saw the part in the context of the whole. And that is what integral humanism, based on which Research Institute is working. They also are trying to see these things in practices. So food, for us, it was not mere an object to quench our hunger. It is looked at in multiple ways. First, it is a divine. We all do prayers. Nowadays, perhaps the modern generation might not be doing, but a generation before they all did it. And they did it in every part of the country. I have seen this in the most tribal areas of our country, not educated people. Way back in the remote areas of Nagaland, I have eaten food with the villagers. When they eat, when they sit, they will be on the floor, in the plate when the food comes. Elderly people, not the younger one have a little moved away. They will, before they start eating, they will pick up some morsel of rice. Quietly they utter some. This is a thanksgiving to Mother Earth. And to, put it on the side. As a matter of gratitude. The food is not to be wasted. In my childhood, my mother will not allow any of us to waste any food. Even a morsel of rice on the table should not be a plate, thali, it must be completely clean. If you have taken more, you better eat. No question up, so that you learn that how much to take. Don't waste food. Food is divine. Food giver is divine. And so is the food taker. That is what we do whenever we eat food, we recite the mantra. Food is to be shared. This has been our tradition. In my childhood, in my village, whenever, right from when it is the planting season, the first planting, whether it's a paddy, sugarcane, whatever it is, it may be, in every household, that household, first day plantation, one member from every household will go and do the planting voluntarily. Not that they are asked. It was a collective one. And at the end, I have participated as a high school student. I have gone in so many houses when their farming first plantation time came. And in the evening, go to the house and you eat at their house, at the person in whose field you have gone and done the plantation. Whenever, we used to have sugar cane, not for sugar factory, but it is we to produce jaggery. And when the jaggery is being made, at the time when, I don't know, many of those of you who have experienced it, at the time when it is ripening, by boiling, concentration ripening, the fragrance is so intense and it goes to such a far off distance that any passerby will know that yes, jaggery is being made. And then they would come. And when they come, everyone, if invariably under some tree it is being cooked, if it is a mango, the mango leaf on that, a piece of the jaggery is given to every visitor. Sometimes one would wonder. At that time, nobody wondered. But today, I think some of men, oh my God, you have given so much to others. Yes, this is to be shared. Yeah, the food, sharing the food has been our tradition. This collective living, thinking for all, no one to go hungry when somebody comes to your house, and food, the traditional eating habit being so nutritious. There is even today, when somebody blesses a new child, they say, Satam Jivet, live for 100 years. Because living for 100 years was an injunction, it was expected. It's not that living for 100 years is something which was miracle. It was expected for people in this country to live for 100 years. And those who are living in a traditional way, they are still living for 100 years. I have shared my experience with many people. When I was in Nagaland, which is a state of villages, there were n number of people over 100 years. N number, countless. Of course, it is a different matter that the young fellows are dying at the age of 50, 60. That's a different matter because of the lifestyle. Now, our life philosophy, which originated several thousand years ago, since the time of the Vedic period. It has been translated into our cultural practices. Practitioners of all those philosophies, they may be illiterate, and many of them are, but they know what they are doing. May not be the metaphysical aspect of it, but through practices they have been carrying on. And this is how Bharat has lived, has survived thousands of years of its turbulent history. Not entirely turbulent, but certainly for the last 1,000 years it has been turbulent. It has survived because our people, our villagers, our mothers, our grandmothers, they, through tradition and traditional practices, they ensured that these priceless legacies survive, it is bestowed to us. We have seen in our villages, right from, which was mentioned that how, lactating mother, right from pregnancy to lactating mother, all those different stages. We know that whenever this is in the family, we have a childbirth, there used to be a different kind of preparations for the mother. Very healthy, very rich. It used to be there. But we have slowly, we have forgotten that. We are forgetting it. To a great extent, we have forgotten. But thanks to our mothers and grandmothers, especially those who are not relatively so-called advanced, those who are in the villages, they are still keeping it. And before these are lost, we have to collect, we have to preserve, and we have to make people literate about it. We have reached a stage where we have become dismissive of our past, dismissive of our practices, cultural practices, the festivals. Every festival, our country is full of festivals. Every day some festival or other is happening in many parts of the country. It is full of festivals. But if you ask this, many young people today, what it is about, this is a festival, that's all. This is how we have been doing it, that's the end of it. They don't try to. Now, if we can make them literate about it, because it is a time that we cannot just be following it just like that, we must also try to make sense of it, which people have in the past, those who have started it, they made with a good sense of it. But over the period, because of circumstances, it remained as practices. The sense part of it has become just a matter of habit, as a matter of tradition, and that is how our dharmic philosophies have survived in action through our cultural practices. But it's time also to make a sense of it, so that we tell our people this is what it is all about. And it is so full of it. Atulji, when I mentioned about the richness of I will tell you one story. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. Nilgiri Hills. One set of Kurumbas, there is a tribe. When they go for harvesting of there's honey, they have season in which they go. Before they go for harvesting the honey, they have 3 weeks of ritual. They will not eat non-vegetarian food. And they have certain practices. And when they go, they will sing what they call mantra as a song. And they will go and quietly they will lift the honeycomb, with all the buzzing bees, no bee sting any of them. They bring it home. Unaffected. Look at the coexistence. Look at the relationship. And look at the wisdom. Now, if you try to put it in the logic, perhaps our logic is not yet evolved, that we are able to explain that. But you have plenty of instances where this native wisdom is so rich and so connected with the larger whole that it's time that we must get back to it, get to our roots. And today, when our country, we are moving with a sense of destiny, that yes, we have lost a lot of time, we can't afford to lose anymore. We have to be a fully developed country, self-reliant country, not only in material resources, not only in terms of military might and all, but also in terms of our wisdom, in terms of giving solution to the global problems. You know, Sri Aurobindo had written that Bharat can, if she wills, give new and decisive turn to all the problems confronting the mankind, because the clue to their solution lies in her ancient wisdom. It is there. In fact, today we have a Prime Minister who is putting this traditional wisdom of our country into practice and telling the world, and world is coming around. You know, Bharat has, first of all, as we said, for food, it is not just, it is mine, it is for all. Mine is only when I have fed the others. Look at this. This is something of this country. When COVID happens, when the advanced countries got this COVID vaccine, what they did? They started hoarding it. They didn't know how much many times more than what they needed. And raising the price, make more money. No compassion, absolutely mercantile interest. When Bharat got the vaccine, even before we vaccinated our people, we started vaccinating, we were not saturated, we started giving it to others. You know, this is the DNA, this is the true Bharat. That we don't, when Bharat moves forward, it's not for, when Bharat prospers, it's not for Bharat, it is for the whole world. And that is why today, the world looks at Bharat with expectation, be it climate crisis. They are looking at the way Bharat sustainable living is being practiced today. In terms of energy, the way we are moving towards green energy more and more, we are moving away. Bharat is the only country which has taken a bold decision. We will be carbon free by the year 2070, and by 2030 half of our energy will be carbon free. Just another 5 years, 6 years, 5 years. This is a very bold decision. It is not just a decision, it is being actualized. Our people are achieving it. How they are achieving it? Again, in the Bharatiya way. Not by the government, not by the state, by the people, by the Samaj, by the society. Trust the society. You know, for a very long time, we have got used to looking at our management through the perspective of a state. Not through the people, not through the society. As a result, we have been going down. At the time when we became independent, we were the 6th largest economy. 10 years back, 2014, we dipped down to 11th economy. Fortunately, now we are 5th. But this 5th year because of the people's effort. Collective. Trust the people. Those of you who are paying income tax, you know it. Till 10 years back, hardly 2 crore people used to pay income tax. Today, there are more than 10 crore people are paying it. How? Vishwas, trust. Trust the people. You don't have to be distrustful. Why do you have to do? You know, being distrust. British were okay. British, they were colonizers. They had every reason to distrust us. But why do we have to distrust our own people? That culture of distrust. No, it has to go. And this is what is happening. It is going, and now people are. We were nowhere in the field of, we were rather in the field of a startup ecosystem, science and technology, though we had some centers, but no, in the term in innovation enterprises, we were nowhere. Today we are in the reckoning. We are among the top 3 in the world. It's because our young men and women are achieving things which were incredible. Because we trust them. Trust. I often mention at many sort of platform I have said, I have shared in our own state, in the last 5 to 6 years, more than 101 crore 50 lakhs people have taken mudra loan. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 10 lakhs. I have gone and I have met the ladies in the villages. I wanted to know, I was curious to know what they're doing with this. Someone is opening a shop. Someone has bought a cow, getting milk and selling the milk. You know, someone has got a tailoring machine and a stitching and then selling it. Enterprise. The woman who was considered unproductive is now running the household. This is collateral free. You don't have to, because it was made easy. Earlier we did not trust our people. We said, if you give the loan, whether the loan will come back or not. Why do you have to start with a distrust? Our own people. And then when we started trusting them, look at the wonder. So when we are moving ahead with a very clear sense of destiny, that this is our destiny, we have to by 2047 reach a position where we should be able to be the light of the world. We should be able to save the world. We should be able to help all the people in the world, not only for ourselves, the whole world. That capability when we have, when we are progressing, developing materially, scientifically, technologically, we cannot just grow on a Western model. It has to be our model. And our model is integral model. When life is not seen in isolation, life seen in holistic. We are all. This is what our Ayurveda is. You go to a doctor, go to a modern big hospital, a guy who knows teeth, he will only know teeth, nothing more than that. What happens to the rest of things, he is not concerned about it. Somebody is a heart specialist, a great guy, a heart specialist, knows nothing about it, as if heart is everything. But go to an Ayurveda doctor. Ayurveda doctor looks at the body holistically. We don't look at. So this is a way of, till the other day, modern medicine people were, calling them is the snake oil, is all. Now they are all coming around. Because when the life is getting complex and they are facing their limitation that they cannot find the answer to many of the problems, whereas there is an answer somewhere in the traditional wisdom, there is something great. I tell you, there is so much this country's heritage, wisdom heritage, intellectual heritage, traditional heritage, all those need to be preserved. And in this regard, our food, our heritage with respect to our food practices, right, the whole production to processing, to its distribution, what we had, how nutritious they were, the food were, how holistic they were. We mentioned about this festival food. Yes, we all know how rich the festival food, how holistic the festival foods are. All these need to be compiled, preserved and disseminated. In fact, I have suggested, I was sitting on the dais, I was suggesting through Atul Jainji that this book, I would like to propagate it among our educational institutions, our university and colleges. They should know, because it is the young. Elderly people by and large, they still have the sense. But what we need to initiate, those who are basically the young people, they should know the worth of it, how priceless has been this heritage and how good it can be, and that too with our local resources. We don't have to go far off. It's all there. different climate, different geography, different seasons. We know that how even the food, the seasonal food, how the winter, what to eat, summer, what to eat, rainy season, what to eat, what not to eat. These were all which we all were told by, not only told, but in our houses, our mothers, grandmothers practiced it. But these are all getting forgotten. We need to preserve it. So I thank and congratulate Deen Dayal Research Institute and all those who are associated with it for producing this wonderful book. It is coffee table. I think it is a soft copy. I'm not very sure it is, whether it should be more and more popularized, and we need many more edition of it, many more volumes of it, because our country, as I said at the beginning, is so diverse, so rich, and nothing should go waste. Nothing. We should not miss anything. In the wave of modernity, there is a risk. Fortunately, now we are trying to manage it. We must put our heart and soul in it. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now request Dr. Meena Kumari to propose the word of thanks.
Vanakkam. Thank you all on behalf of the India Research Institute, New Delhi, for gracing this occasion. Our special thanks to Honorable Our special thanks to Honorable Governor Thiru Aran Ravi ji for the launching of these important publications. Our thanks to Dr. Girija and Dr. Bajaj and Sri Devendra Jain also for gracing this occasion. I'm also thankful to Center for Policy Studies and Smas Mahajan for their support in organizing this function. I also thanks all the guests in front.
Yes, present here. At the very outset, I would like to thank Deen Dayal Research Institute for producing this book. One can easily make out it has taken a lot of effort. The canvas it has covered, almost the entire country, and painstaking investigation which they have done in getting the details. It is a laudable effort. Of course, our country is so large, so big, that perhaps Atul Jainji should think of another edition, because there are not many things, there are so much that it cannot be covered in any book, howsoever thick it might be, because our country is so large and diverse, and our culinary, our food practices are so traditional food practices I'm talking about, right from the production, collection, processing, cooking, all this are so diverse, so huge, that we need a series of such books to cover what our country has to offer. Yes, about the book Atul Jainji has mentioned. Jatinder Bajaj talked about the aspects of food production and how nutritious food could be in detail. And of course, Dr. Girija, she is very renowned practitioner of Ayurveda. People all over the country, those who have not met her, they also know her works. She has beautifully mentioned about how to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. All these, she has given a detail. In fact, it is kind of a short tutorial on eating and its benefits. Friends, you know, why this book? In fact, you know, we are at a time when, frankly speaking, I have a sense that we have lost, we feel like we are a lost people. We do not know who we are. And as a result, this vacuum, this drift is being filled by tastes and practices from external sources. Today, for example, you have McDonald's culture, you have KFC culture, you have Maggie culture and all those things. You know, there's fast food coming up and all. You see a general drift